A quick note before I begin the video. As of recording, I have not seen a single analysis video about the most recent Tears of the Kingdom trailer from any other creator, though I certainly have several saved to my watch later playlist. Just wanted to clarify that, but I am very much looking forward to watching those videos later. In my just over 4 years of making content on YouTube, I have never been one for big analysis videos regarding trailers for games. You have to understand that when Breath of the Wild first came out, or we first heard of it, that was way back in 2014? I was like a freshman or sophomore in college. I didn't even start my YouTube channel until the summer of 2018. Sure, I watched some trailers every now and again, and maybe I watched a few analysis videos, but I was just coming back into video gaming and just about to start my own channel, so I wasn't really ready to dive in that much into what I was seeing. I would just enjoy it. And because I only started my YouTube channel in 2018, that meant a year later in 2019 at E3, when we got the reveal of the sequel to Breath of the Wild, now known as Tears of the Kingdom, I mostly just experienced the trailer. I didn't really think anything about it. And if you watch my reaction or remember my reaction, there were tears. Even with the 2 subsequent trailers we got after that initial one, I didn't really give them much thought. I mostly just took in what everyone else was saying. It's a learning experience. However, September 13th, 2022, just a few days ago as of recording this, that changed. Watching this trailer for the first time was quite different than my previous experiences because I was actually analyzing it. I was actually thinking, oh, is that Zonai stuff? Oh, is that picture Zelda? What is that weird goddess thing? Is it the goddess Hyla? Is it something else? I don't know. What's that stuff spewing out the volcano? Someone just said it's malice. Is it that? I don't know. I was thinking about it and I was actually dissecting it, which I have never done. And so within 2 hours of that reveal, I had already recorded my own preliminary thoughts and uploaded them to YouTube. Was it an in-depth analysis? Not really. Pretty basic stuff, I would say. But I was so excited that my brain was finally at that point, that I am finally at that point as a content creator, to where I wanted to analyze and felt like I knew enough to give my input. Even if 99% of it ends up being completely wrong, I'm fine with that. It was just fun to do. But that is not what this video is about. No, this is about y'all's analysis. Because when I got home from work that night, I scrolled through the comment section on both my analysis video and my reaction video and was floored by what I saw. All of the different little elements that you guys pointed out that I never considered. Even some things that maybe I don't think are what's going on, but I still found them interesting nonetheless, and discussions happening in my private Discord that really had my brain going. And so I thought, just because not everyone makes YouTube videos doesn't mean those comments have to be relegated to just that, the comment section. Hence this video where I'm going to be going through those comment sections and discussing y'all's crazy but awesome analysis and ideas. Hope you enjoy, because I certainly have. So this is a little bit sporadic and unorganized. I'm not going in any specific order. I'm just reading them as they are, and hopefully it turns out okay. This first one comes from my patron Aaron, which I did mention in my analysis video, but he's not the only one to say this. Wonder if maybe those little swirls around the main figure could be the tears in the title. There's also 7 of them, which makes me think of the 7 sages or maidens from Ocarina of Time in A Link to the Past. Brandon Kirk suggests that the first part is the Zonai interpretation of the goddess Hylia and the 7 sages, as well as the Great Calamity 10,000 years ago. A lot of people, I think, have been proposing that that main figure is their interpretation of the goddess Hylia. I don't think so, but we'll come back to that, maybe. Maybe not. Natendo64, as well as several others, asks, is it tears like crying or tears like ripping something? Good question. I'm gonna go with tears. I don't know why it would be tears. Seems a little bit difficult to say, tears of the kingdom. But both could work, but I'm going with tears. On that note, Anth says, tears of my wallet, let's go. Couldn't agree more. Something I love that Solo Jonah pointed out. He says, I love how the entire advertising campaign for this game has been more about raising questions than giving answers. In the lead up to the original Breath of the Wild, formerly known as Zelda U, Nintendo was giving tons of info and explanations on how everything was ultimately going to work. This time around, they've been super mysterious, and I can't actually wait for May to play Tears of the Kingdom. Totally see what you're saying. Now with Breath of the Wild, it was a whole new thing. Open world, not really dungeons, so many different mechanics that we as Zelda fans weren't really used to, so they wanted to show it to us and entice us. But with the sequel, we know the base mechanics, and I wonder if they're going to keep that up, and I kind of hope they keep that up. Maybe give us one more theatrical trailer come March or so, much like the final trailer for Breath of the Wild that is so good. Something to make us go, wow, I am so ready for this story, but I don't think they really need to tell us anything more about the game mechanics. I don't need it. I kind of want them to just be like, here's the game. Go for it. We would all go for it. Right? They're not worried about selling it. Aaron also suggests that both the suspended in the air figure as well as the one standing with her hand out could be Zelda, but it could be that more than one person is Zelda. Yes, a lot of people have actually said that raised figure is Ganondorf. I heavily disagree. I do not think it's Ganondorf. I do not think the resemblance is strong enough. I would say it's more like Zelda. Not saying it couldn't be the mummified Ganondorf, but I feel like it's more like Zelda. Three Shields says, here are some things I noticed. 7, which is a godly number, which is true. In Christianity, 7 is the number of completion, as is 3, and I think 12 might have something to do with it as well. 7 Zonai symbols around what I assume to be a Zonai god, or worshipped being, which is more where I lean than it being Goddess Hylia. A question they have is, are the chunks of land being pulled up into the sky, revealing dungeons? Or are they just appearing or falling below the clouds? Good question. Are these our entry points to the dungeons, where someone suggests the dungeons we're going to collect tears, which we've done in previous games. Especially, what's that Skyward Sword? Were those tears? I don't know. Maybe it was dragon tears? Something like that? I don't know. But it's same Ubibayachi. It would make sense. I hope that makes sense. It did in my head, not out loud. Hollow Seeker says, the Sheikah could be the Tears of the Kingdom, correct? The ones who hold the pain of everything that happened behind the scenes in Hyrule? I think this game is going to go into depth about what and who the Sheikah really are, what their role is in the big picture, and the significance of the relationships between the goddess, the Sheikah, and the Zonai. Let me know if you agree. I do think that's a really good idea. I threw out there maybe Zonai are ancient Sheikah, and I'm sure someone else has said that before. I may have even heard it somewhere and I forgot where I heard it from. But when you think about it, this is the biggest presence the Sheikah have ever had, at least to my knowledge, in 3D Zelda games. But this is a massive presence, so it wouldn't surprise me one bit if suddenly everything is about them. Which reminds me, in my analysis video I said, oh my gosh, who would the 7th sage be? And someone was like, Impa? She's still alive. She could die. You never know. And that would make sense. Impa's been, or different variations of Impa, have been a sage before. Greg says, I think the green swirls will be warp points or locations, to put it bluntly. Also, I think the glider is of the same technology as the fire-breathing dragon head on Link's shield. To your latter point? Oh, makes sense. I could see that. For the green swirl, that thing I noticed while I was recording my analysis, yeah, that makes sense. I kept trying to look and I was like, is that a shrine it's coming out of? Could it be that all 120 shrines become warp points with that swirl? That would make sense. First of all, that would make a connection between possibly Zonai stuff and Sheikah technology, but also the shrines were basically warp points along with the towers, so it would stand to reason that the shrines turn into a different type of warp point rather than just being shrines, because why would we do the shrines again? And Aram says Tears of the Kingdom. Pretty sure it's a reference to the Sheikahs, and I don't know why I didn't get that. I even mentioned with that one figure that, I thought maybe it was a Gerudo, maybe it's Zelda, maybe it's a Sheikah, with the eye being the way it is. You think about the Tears of the Kingdom? Yeah, Sheikah. Why? It's so obvious. Again, are Zonai just ancient Sheikah? I keep rehashing the same thing, I'm so sorry. Bex Smith says, I also have a theory that the different champion cities will be overtaken with different forms of malice. The image from the game on Nintendo's store page shows a swirly vortex thing that looks like it's over Rito Village, and Malice coming out of Death Mountain. So maybe there will be Malice engulfing each city in the form of their respective elements. Interesting thought. It wasn't until after I recorded my analysis video that someone in my Discord, I believe it was Nick, suggested it was Malice coming out of Death Mountain. I just saw that it was erupting, but it could be Malice. And that swirling vortex thing, didn't notice that because I hadn't seen that image before. Maybe. Interesting thoughts. Kaylin pointed out that someone noted on their reaction to the trailer that the music at the end, when they show the title, connects back to Skyward Sword and the collection of Dragon Tears. Now I listened to the end and it's this little gong thing, and then I listened to what it sounds like when you collect the Dragon Tears in Skyward Sword, and there is a resemblance. I don't know if it has significance other than, yeah, that makes sense because Fugabayashi had a massive part of Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and now Tears of the Kingdom. It's essentially his trilogy, which I want to say was HMK made some interesting prediction about that years ago. Would make sense. He's very big on the story aspect of it, which is not normally the part they focus so much on in Zelda games. That's normally the last part. They want the gameplay to be fun first, which I massively respect. Greg also suggests that the sky kind of looks like a depiction of the Sacred Realm. Maybe. Some of those areas definitely look like some sort of trial area or something ethereal, but anything goes at this point. I don't believe those are all the comments. There might be more since I've recorded this. But now I want to jump into my Discord and conversations that were going on between two of my patrons, Aaron and Nick. While he is not the only one to point this out, he was the first one I saw. My patron Nick noticed in not only the trailer, but also some of the art that Nintendo has now posted that Link has this thing on his person that looks like the Tears of Light that you collect in Twilight Princess, also kind of like the Dragon Tears in Skyward Sword. So we must be collecting tears, right? Where from? Probably dungeons. Makes sense. So that's it. That is what I have read from y'all's comments on my last two videos and chats in my Discord that piqued my interest and made me go, wow, there are so many people with so many different ideas. And it's very possible some of those comments were pulled from people who watched other creators' analyses. Totally fine by me. Doesn't matter. We're all sharing the collective ideas and we're all sharing in the excitement. I know it's not true for everyone, but for me, rewatching that trailer, getting the trailer in the first place, getting the name, and getting the release date has reinvigorated my excitement for it because now I know when I'm going to play it. During my busiest time for work. It's fine. I'm going to stream as much as I can though. Might be at odd times. Obviously, you want the game itself to be fun. But I also firmly believe that this build-up, this time of theorizing and discussing, is equally as fun in its own right. Nintendo's marketing team sure knows what they're doing. They don't have to put a lot out there for us to go crazy, whether in private discussion or on YouTube with full-length videos. And it's great. It helps Nintendo get the word out there, but it also helps the creators who get to do a job that they love. Although this isn't my job. It's a side thing that I like to do for fun. I have a different full-time job. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as random, sporadic, and unorganized as it was. I am now very much looking forward to actually watching the other creators' videos. I'm sure I'm gonna go through all of them and go, oh, why did I not think of that? But I also want to see theirs first because I have a lot of ideas that I think I can make videos on, but I don't want it to come across like I've copied anyone. But after watching theirs, I'll be able to narrow down my list of what I want to theorize on, what I want to make videos on and discuss. And I hope you guys are looking forward to those because I certainly am. So thank you again so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please feel free to give the video a like and join the geekdom by subscribing. Just thank you so much to those of you that have subscribed over the past few days. We've gotten a lot of new members of the geekdom and it's been amazing. By the way, I now stream pretty consistently on Thursdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to come join if you can. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.